Hello, Ahong. Could you say something to test? Are you ready there? Hello, Gold First. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Please switch the main screen. Oh, okay, thank you. Ahong, I can hear you. 안녕하세요. Yes, can you hear? Hello, Gold Forest. Would you change the main screen, the graphic? The graphic is ended things. 랩탑이 저거밖에 안 돼. 한번 저기 봐.
We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh. Thịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đắc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Namo Sadanto Sucedo Ye Elahudi Samyao Sanputo Ye. Namo Taknakha Tuya Daya Lahade Tamyo Tambo Datua. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the dusk of one's true and actual principles. Wu sheng 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 wei miao fa bai jian wan jie nan zao yu. 我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Huineng, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good new advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨六祖师父上人，各位出家人，各位善知识，弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát kính thưa lục tổ, hòa thượng tiến hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 22nd of July 2023. Thank you all for joining us at this discussion of the Sixth Patriarch Sutra. We are on chapter 6, Repentance and Reform, slide number 17. You can get started. Text. The second is a concentration refuge, which is just your own mind, which does not become confused when seeing the marks of all good and evil states.
二、定香，即睹诸善恶镜像，自心不乱，名定香。
Okay, so 18 commentary slide. He says, so he, just before he talked about the precept refuge, and now is a concentration refuge. This concentration refuge, according to Master Huineng, is that you use your samadhi as your refuge. Okay? Refuge, you take refuge in your own ability, your own self. You know, your samadhi is one, being a samadhi is one of the safest places that you can be. Okay? And so you can learn to take refuge in your own concentration power, your own samadhi. Meaning that when you are in trouble, then you should resort to learn to take refuge in your samadhi. What does it mean? What does it mean? Let me translate it for you. What do I mean by when you're in trouble? More specifically, you're in trouble when you are afflicted. When you're afflicted, you should beware and you should know that you are in trouble. You are afflicted, meaning you are caught already. Yeah, it's not that funny. When you are afflicted, it hurts. It's rather painful. It's a lot of suffering. And for some reason, ordinary people look at being afflicted as a normal thing, as a part of life. Okay? Actually, if you have wisdom, then you realize that when you're afflicted, that means you're in trouble. And the Master Huineng is teaching us as when you're in trouble, use your samadhi as your refuge. Isn't it beautiful? My gosh, you always like, I'm in trouble, let's call Master and see what I should do. And Master doesn't answer your phone call. You see? Because if I answer your phone call, you keep on calling me. All the time. Okay? Too many of you. 20 of you. That's too many. Okay? So, please remember this. Okay? Can we make a deal? Okay? Okay? Let's make a deal. Let's make a deal. Okay? When you're afflicted, you remember that being afflicted is nothing desirable at all. Okay? When you're afflicted and you don't know what to do, cross your legs, enter samadhi. That's the safest place for you. Are we clear on that? In particular, he all sees that what is that makes you afflicted is very deep kind of affliction we all have, is that when we see the marks of all good and evil states. Meaning what? The marks of all good and evil states. Meaning, forget about the marks. When you see evil states, okay, when you see evil, okay, and good, what is it? This is referring to, this is very deep-seated in all of us, the sense of righteousness. I mean, for most of us, I'm sorry, not all of you. Okay? We all have this strong sense of righteousness. There's right and wrong in all of us. Okay? Including Putin. Okay? He says, it's perfectly okay for me to invade and kill other people because they're not Russian. That kind of thing. They don't say that he's evil. He's actually the sense of righteousness in his mind. And that is so dangerous. You know? So he said, I'm doing good. I'm getting rid of the evil. Okay? So be careful. Though in particular, don't seek the good and desirable states or reject the undesirable states. Whatever when you meditate, when you cultivate, whether it's good or bad, something good or bad happens, you don't get afflicted. And you do, what you do? You enter samadhi. Are we clear on that? Okay? And that's how your mind does not become confused. Because once your mind is confused, you're in trouble. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be the wisest person. You can be enlightened. But if your mind becomes confused, you are in trouble. Is it clear? Don't say that, I'm enlightened, therefore I cannot get in trouble. Doesn't matter who you are. Okay? Next, 19. The third is a wisdom refuge, which is simply your own mind free from obstructions. It constantly uses wisdom to contemplate and illuminate the self nature.
三、慧香，自心无碍，常以智慧关照自性。
Okay, 20. The third refuge is to take refuge with the wisdom. What is this refuge here? You take refuge with your own mind that's free from obstruction, Wu I. Okay, thank you. So, I here means that you are being obstructed, you're being stopped, you're being hampered, you've been limited, maybe you've been harmed, so you cannot be fully operational. You be covered up, so you cannot see clearly. You're entrapped, meaning that you cannot move, whether you like it or not. Okay, that's then you know you're in trouble. Okay, in particular, how do you get the mind to be free from obstructions? Chinese is very clever. Chinese teaching something we don't have. Okay, that's why we want to steal from. From the Chinese perspective, the Chinese teaching, okay, this obstruction here, how do you free yourself from obstruction? Wu ai, you have no obstruction. And Chinese teaching is that you use your equanimity, the mind of equanimity, your mind of wisdom. There's somewhere in your wisdom, your inherent wisdom, where you are able to look at everything impartially. Okay, that's a mind of equanimity. Okay, and that's how when you use that kind of wisdom, the wisdom inside of you, where you're able to look at everything impartially, equally, and then you're able to have no obstructions whatsoever. Questions or comments? No? Obvious to you? Clear to you? No questions at all? Nada? Okay, yeah, I'm not going there either. You don't want me to go there? I won't go there. Okay, so remember, the wisdom is, you have wisdom is when your mind is free from obstructions. Don't say I am wise. Don't say I have wisdom when you have so many obstructions. You say, no, I'm not going there. You know, that's not a good place. That is, I'd rather go here. It's a much better place. Okay, so you obstructing yourself right there. Okay, Wei Mao.
Hi, Master. Can you explain a little bit more about mind in equanimity and then how that related to the obstruction?
Why do you see obstructions?
Because I think that works negative way to me.
Because it's not desirable to you, right?
Yes.
Something else is more desirable to you. Okay? This is what happened to her. She froze or something? Okay, technology. Okay, so your mind discriminates. He says, this is better for me. This is more desirable. Okay, and because of that, your mind has obstructions. You stop yourself. And if your mind has equanimity, where you look at desirable and undesirable as the same thing, you don't discriminate, then you have no more obstructions. That's how beautiful it is. If you want to free yourself from obstructions, you just have to practice equanimity. In other words, And that's why I was asking. And since no one asked, that's why I moved on. But someone pulled me back and said, what is equanimity? What is the mind of equanimity? It's basically you don't discriminate. Yes, continue.
So,
But we discriminate, she says. I go to school to learn to discriminate.
how do we decrease the discrimination?
How do we discriminate less?
Yes, Master.
How? No one ever asked that question before, so let me think. Anyone? How do you discriminate less? 6.
Thank you, Master. To discriminate less, then you accept that person for who they are.
Accept it for what it is.
Yes.
Okay? Person, it, whatever. Embrace it. Accept it. Okay? But what if you don't really like it at all? Must you accept it? That's her objection. He said, equanimity, wait a minute, what if it's so undesirable? It was so bad. Need I accept it? Is it wise to accept something that is undesirable, it is unbeneficial, it is harmful, it's hurtful? Is it?
It's that person, you cannot control them. So if you don't want to be like that, then you have to stay away from that person.
How can there be wisdom if you accept that's undesirable thing? For example, your wife says, I want to divorce you. You say, okay. Is that a good thing? Is that
Maybe my husband can answer that question because I'm the wife.
okay? And turn around. Your husband tells you, I want to divorce you.
I cannot keep the one who doesn't want to be around me.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So if it's something really undesirable, is it wise to accept it and what? And that's what Sarah is complaining about. It says, what is illogical? That's not wisdom. Does it sound like wisdom? Yes, 5. Did you want to answer your wife?
I think undesirable. When you think something undesirable, it's just your state of mind. It's not really it is.
So you say, oh, this is just a state of mind. It's okay, go. Be happy.
You just deal with the situation that comes along, right? I mean, if my wife tells me then to want to leave me,
You have to be specific. Your wife
Right.
says, I want to leave.
yeah, I mean, people they got divorced, right? I mean, if she tells me she wants to leave me, right? So I'll ask her, like, what's the reason, right?
And
Because
she says, you undesirable.
no one's perfect, right?
Then you should turn around and say, you sure this is called wisdom?
I want like force her to do, but we try to work it out. But you can't really, when you think something is undesirable, your state of mind, you think everything's undesirable, you always look for that stuff, and what comes to you, right?
Well, man, you're really unprepared for that situation. I feel sorry for you. Anyone else can help him out? What if you're into an undesirable situation? Yes, Wei Mao.
Master, I forgot what I was going to say. It was something about when wisdom increases, then the discrimination decreases.
Whoa, look at that. It's so profound. So, meaning that, if my wife wants to leave me, I have one wife less, so my wisdom increases. Huh? Yes, continue. You see, this guy is single, so you cannot, take everything he says with a grain of salt. Go ahead, continue.
Is the equanimity, is it like the same as if I'm working in the back of like a 130-degree van, it's the same as to being in air conditioned, eating watermelon? It's like the same thing, equanimity?
Yeah, equanimity means everything being equal. Hot and cold, equal. You don't discriminate. And that's called wisdom. And let me help the men who are about to get divorced. Okay, if the wife comes to you and says, I want to leave you, and you're practicing equanimity, you said, okay. That's all you do. Okay. I wish you the best. Have some class, man. Okay? Don't be, no. No. Never. You hear that? Huh? Malcolm. Don't get me, so please, 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 I will change. No. You see, I understand. I wish you the best. And then you go to your room. Ah! Okay, but the point here is that what is wisdom in it? Why is that a good thing to have equanimity? I give an example because right now you don't see it. A better woman will come along. Because she sees you having wisdom, equanimity, wisdom. No? It could happen, like super lotto, it happens. Okay, on all joking aside, what's so desirable about having equanimity? Why is that desirable? Why is it called wisdom? Yes, you too.
Master, this is a separate question.
Okay.
From Ru Zhi, could you please explain the difference between affliction and obstruction?
Affliction and obstruction. Okay. Affliction is your mind is worked up. Obstruction in your mind is stopped. It's two different things. So you obstructed because your mind says, I can't do this. Okay? Afflicted is that I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. So I like this, I like this. Okay? I hope it helps. Okay,
There's another question from Lyle. Why is the Chinese character xiang, fragrance, is used for refuge? This is the first time I read this, so excuse me if this has already been discussed in the past.
Yeah, we discussed a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a week ago. It's xiang here refers to fun, fun, meaning that it's a portion. Okay, so in Chinese, wisdom refuge here, they translate it as refuge. Actually, English, Chinese means portion or share. Okay, actually it's hui fen. So this is a wisdom part of the refuge, if you will. All right, anyone else? So why is having no obstruction, why is a mind equanimity an advantage? You don't know? After 16 years, 17 years we've been together, having been so many ups and down and ups and down. We're still together, and you don't find it to be an advantage. You guys don't remember. I know the old abbot here remembers when we were at Lu Mountain Temple, we had a lot of problems, didn't we? People criticizing, complaining all the time. And Xin, who was even there earlier than you, before you, she would say, oh my God, I can't work with these people. They are impossible, and so forth. And I told her, I explained to her, consider it as you being married for life. He said, that doesn't help. But it's working out. Okay? So, you see, mind equanimity is that you don't get too excited, whether it's good or it's bad. So, you're even-keeled. And that's called wisdom. If your mind is even-keeled, then you have clarity of mind. Separate the clarity of mind versus something that's bad happening to you. Okay? Even something bad happening to you, your mind is still clear. You're still unafflicted. Therefore, you can cope with it better. We're not saying you must accept it. It's just saying that if it's a good thing happens, I deal with it as a good thing happens to me. If a bad thing happens to me, I calmly deal with it as something bad that happens to me. We're not saying you should lie down and die. It's a difference. Do we understand each other? Am I making myself clear? What happens to normal people is that something good happens and they're so excited, oh, whoopee, whoopee, whoopee. And guess what? They're not themselves. They win super lotto and go out and buy and quit their jobs and divorce their wives, and renounce the kids so that they protect their wealth and so forth. That's not a good thing. Okay? That's what happens to people. Good thing happens to them, they don't behave like themselves. Bad thing happens to them, they get depressed. There's no wisdom there. You cannot win if you don't have, your mind is not impartial. Am I making sense to you? So wisdom here refers to the state of mind where you least affected, meaning that you treat everything equally. That's one form of wisdom. Good thing happens, good, let's enjoy. Bad thing happens, good, let's deal with it calmly. Does it make sense now? Okay, never mind, don't answer that. I don't care if you answer yes or no. Okay, next section that's kind of interesting. He says, the great Patriarch, he says, constantly use wisdom to contemplate and illuminate the self-nature. Okay, now, is anyone interested in explaining to me what this means? And I am asking all of you, what do you think? What is he talking about? According to the notes here I have, I use transcendental wisdom, closely examine, illuminate, expand vision. Okay? Those are some clues. If you wish to use them, you can use your own. Wonderful wisdom. Anyone? Koreans who got up early, now it's only 5 o'clock over there. Say something, make it worth your time. On a weekend, get up at 5 in the morning on Sunday morning, you are nuts. What is it? What is he referring to? Way Mountain, go ahead.
Thank you, Master. I think this goes to my question earlier, which was, what does it mean when it says that contemplation is emptiness and illusion within?
Contemplation is an emptiness and illusion within?
Yeah, the Chinese is Guan Wei Gong Jia Zhong.
Will someone help me out? I cannot understand his Chinese. Huh? What?
Guan. Yeah. I asked it this morning in the
He asked us this
Shanta.
morning, but we couldn't find that text in the repentance book.
Which repentance?
10,000 Buddha's repentance that he was referring to, according to the YouTube messages that you were
Okay,
posting.
get the text. You have to get the text. Yeah.
I have
absolutely.
it right here.
Okay, send it to us in Chinese. Don't try to pronounce it, please.
Okay, I'll do it right now.
You're not helping. Know your limitations, man.
One moment. Oh man, I'm not Chinese enough.
But mine is equanimous. You can try if you want.
Okay, I put in the chat.
Thank you so much. Oof. Okay, so what does constantly use wisdom to contemplate, illuminate the self-nature mean? See? I rest my case. No one gets it. What does it mean? It's amazing. No one else is, they just, six patriarchs said, so, yeah, it must be so. What does it mean? Huh? This is your wisdom refuge, meaning that you use your refuge for shelter, for refuge. Okay? Wei Mao.
Master, is that mean that don't forget who you are? Like, don't forget where your home is?
Altadena?
I don't live in Altadena. Sierra Madre.
Sierra Madre, oh, sorry. That's next town next to it. It has more wildlife than Altadena. Altadena has gelato. Sierra Madre has nothing whatsoever.
We have bears.
Bear, yeah. Bear paws, yeah. All right. So what does it mean to use wisdom constantly illuminate self-nature? You see, you don't understand. I rest my case exactly why I asked you, because it's not for you. The sixth patriarch is teaching his advanced students. It's so cool. And that, that even though you don't understand, it's important to listen to it and try to understand what he's saying. Like, if you have wisdom, okay, if you really have wisdom, you are enlightened, you have true wisdom, like enlightened people, I'm talking to enlightened people now. That's what sixth patriarch is saying. You should contemplate, illuminate your self-nature. It is so powerful a statement for enlightened people that no teacher says. It says, if you've been told you're enlightened, hint, hint. That's why these losers, those idiots over in my master's temple, I call them stupid because I'm tired of their stupidity. They go around and say, you don't tell people's level, you don't tell people. If I don't tell you, I didn't tell you your level, how the heck are you going to use all these dharmas? And when I tell you enlightened, because I want you to use this dharma here. Don't waste time, don't waste your life. Okay? If you're enlightened, then you have the enlightened people's wisdom. So enlightened people are supposed to use their wisdom to contemplate and illuminate the self-nature. Okay? Is it clear? This is it. It's no if and buts. If you're enlightened, do this. You don't do this, then don't call yourself enlightened. You should call yourself stupid. Stupid enlightened person. There are enlightened people who are stupid. Let's face it. And I have lots of them in my temple. What happened? They're stupid. What can you do? They're 99% stupid, 1% enlightened. What the heck are you going to do? I mean, 99% of the time they're stupid, and 1% of the time they're enlightened. Oh. 1% of the time they use wisdom to contemplate, illuminate the self-nature. All right? So ignore all those losers who say, you tell people's level, you are. Oh God, how stupid can you be? They only say that because they don't know, they cannot recognize people's levels. They don't realize the teacher tells the student level is to speed up their development. Idiots. Okay? I feel sorry for my master. I feel sorry for all those teachers out there. Okay, so if you enlighten, if you have wisdom, okay, you must contemplate your self-nature. You must illuminate your self-nature. Okay, what is contemplate your self-nature? If you have wisdom, then you contemplate your self-nature. Meaning what? I taught you already. Why aren't you doing it? Contemplate your self-nature. That's all you do. Okay? Yes, Master, the sixth patriarch, he spells it out for them, for the Chinese, but they don't get it. Yes, too.
A Di Đà Phật, cái quán chiếu tự tánh này đó, trong cái lúc ngồi thiền ở với thầy ở Lưu Sơn Tự đó, trong lúc đang ngồi nó đau thế này, thì tự động một chiếc mô tô nó chạy ngang buổi sáng, thì con bật ra con hiểu được cái này là cái tự tánh nó giống như cái Phật tánh của mình đó, với dạng Pháp đó. Nó yên lặng, mình không phải giống cái gì mình chưa đắc, mình không biết, nhưng mà nó giống như hư không, không biết nó ở đâu. Lục Tổ vậy là xưa nay không một vật đó. Thì con thắc mắc hoài, thì bữa ngồi thiền như vậy thì đang kiết già nó đau thế này. Buổi sáng chờ thầy đánh kẽn rất lâu. Thì cái tiếng xe mô tô nó chạy quá lớn thì nó bật lên, cái mình giật mình thì mới ngộ ra là cái không đó nó sinh ra dạng Pháp. Từ cái suy nghĩ đến cái tất cả mình thấy biết ngửi nếm được đó là do mình tác động cho nó, hoặc là trước hoặc là bây giờ nó sinh ra. Nó cũng là không thôi. Thì đó rõ ràng là trong kinh Bát Nhã dạy là khi đau khổ như vậy thì chiếu kiến ngũ uẩn giai không thì qua tất cả khổ ách. Trong kinh Kim Cang cũng dạy là các pháp như mộng quyển bạo ảnh. Bây giờ mình nghĩ người vợ mình thiệt, cái tình địch là thiệt, thì mình làm gì? Hoặc là mình tự tử, hoặc mình đi giết người ta, hoặc mình bỏ ăn bỏ uống, mình bệnh hoạn, mình chạy lái xe bị tai nạn, mình cũng chết. Mà mình nghĩ là cái tự tánh này nó sinh ra dạng Pháp. Trước đây mình đã làm cái chuyện ngoại tình, mình làm cái chuyện bậy bạ, bây giờ nó tới với mình, chấp nhận nó. Cho nên Hòa Thượng Nhân Hóa mới nói everything okay. Thì lập tức mình bớt liền, chứ không là mình sẽ rất là đau khổ và mình quằn quại trong cái đó. Bản thân con từ hồi ra tù năm 77 tuổi bị như vậy liên tục 10 mấy năm, thì cuối cùng Bồ Tát Quan Âm biểu tu cái kinh Kim Cang Bát Nhã không làm đi theo hỏi hoài. Lúc con nằm mơ thì dạy cái gì, thì bây giờ mình sau này con mới hiểu ra chiếu kiến ngũ uẩn giai không thì qua tất cả khổ ách. Đó là cái căn bản trong cái bài Bát Nhã Tâm Kinh mình tụng hàng ngày đó. Và cuối cùng cái bài cắt nghĩa cái gì? 3 đời chư Phật áp dụng như vậy mà thành Phật đó. Tam thế chư Phật ý Bát Nhã Ba La Mật Đa Cố Đắc A Nậu Đa La Tam Hiểu Tam Bồ Đề. Đâu có bí mật nào đâu. Thì cái tâm không đó, nó chân tâm của mình đó, Trong kinh gọi là Như Lai, các chư Phật trong mình cũng như vậy nữa. Tại mình vọng là mình chấp cái này là mình, cái kia là người. Rồi nó xảy ra không như ý mình đau khổ, mình tự giận, mình giết người ta, đánh nhau đủ thứ chuyện. Mình không nhận đó là nhân quả, mình đã bỏ vô cái Như Lai đó và nó sinh ra. Thì phải chấp nhận nó thôi. Mà bên cạnh đó chư Phật Từ Bi có cho mình những cái dụng cụ tiếp theo, những cái thuốc tiếp theo. Chú Đại Bi, chú Lăng Nghiêm, niệm danh hiệu Quan Âm, cầu nguyện chư Phật gia hộ. Cũng như chút thuốc nó làm cho mình bớt cái đau khổ nóng nực đó, chứ không là mình không thể nào chịu nổi. Trong kinh Đại Bi cũng nói, ngoài cái pháp Đại Bi này, những cái tội đó không có làm cái gì diệt được hết. Thì mình đã may mắn mình gặp những cái dụng cụ đó. Thì đời con đã rất nay con 80 tuổi rồi, không biết bao nhiêu khổ nạn. Mà nhà Bồ Tát Năm dạy cái câu mà quán chiếu ngũ uẩn gia không độ thiết khổ ách, mà còn qua không biết bao nhiêu chuyện. Bây giờ cái tuổi già con thấy đỡ hơn. Xin hết.
Emitofuo, I might not be able to translate everything he said, but I'll try. Emitofuo, so contemplate the self nature is like when I'm sitting meditate at Loma and temple, is that it was very painful, and somehow I was waiting until Master ring the bell, but it was too long. All of a sudden, I hear the motorcycle drive by and it's very loud, and I just understand it. It's just like a state where it's the state very quiet, still, and I don't know where it come from. Just like the sixth Patriarch say. So I have been wondering about this for a long time during my crossing legs meditation in full lotus. So all of a sudden, I realized that in this emptiness is arise 10,000 of Dharma. It's because of us act upon it, or before there's nothing. Now is certainly arise, and it is just all empty. So then, like the Patriarch Sutra say that you have to contemplate and illuminate that the five skandha is empty. It's just like the Patriarch Sutra has said that all conditioned Dharma is like bubble. It's like illusion, bubble, shadows. So if you think that before we do a lot of bad things, and you have to accept that, the consequences, just like Master YongHua has a saying that everything is okay. So like myself, when I was in the prison for more than 10 years, so in the prison, sometime I lie down and I had a dream that Guan Yin Bodhisattva come and teach me, saying that do what the Vajra Sutra say. What else do you want? And so then, what does the sutra teach us is to illuminating and contemplating that the five skandha is empty. So at the very end of the Heart Sutra, it is said that the Buddha of the 3 period of time also rely on this prajna paramita to attain anuttara samdhisambodhi. So because we are false, our false mind attached to this, and we think that the outside is us, so we don't recognize the tathagata, the dust come one within ourselves. So we have to accept it, what it is, as karmic retribution. So even in that way, during our cultivation, the Buddha also gives us a lot of medicine, a lot of remedies, like reciting the heart, the great compassion mantra, Shurangama mantra, or wish and ask for Buddha and Bodhisattva protect and gather us in. just like in the Great Dharani Sutra has said that outside of this Dharma, there's nothing that you can do to escape it. So in my life, 80 years of my life, I have been through a lot of difficulty and suffer. So because Guan Yin Bodhisattva taught me this method that to illuminate and see that all 5 skandha is empty, I have been through so many obstructions in my life because of this method that he taught me, Emitofuo.
No. Anyone else? No means drop it. Don't think that way. Anyone else who like to say anything? I'm going to send you to Korea soon. So in Korea, one of your lessons, one of the exercises that you have to do is to learn to listen to people's problems and help them. Okay? It's not about knowledge anymore. I could let you retire now and you reach a level where you have wisdom and you can retire and you say, I made it. I can be proud of my accomplishments as a monk. You can do that. But if you want to progress more, that's the next level, is you need to learn to help others. Not just knowledge in general about the 5 skandhas and so forth, but if someone comes to you and says, I have this problem, okay, then you have to come up with a solution to help them. And you can't tell them recite Guan Yin's name. Guan Yin will take care of it for you. Okay? You can't do that all the time. So that's your next level. You have to learn to only use a small section of your knowledge, your sutra knowledge, your own experience, and apply it to fix someone else's problems. This is a problem that's typical. What you just said is typical of most people who only read a lot of sutras, who contemplated the meaning of sutras for a long, long time. They got to this point, and that's not bad. But it's not very useful to help people when they have a problem. Okay? There's a lot more to learn than just simply knowing words and concepts. They are meant to be applied towards solving someone else's problems. What is it that we have here? Practicing contemplation.
Yeah, so this is where Alex quoted from the 10,000 Buddha Repentance Ceremony book.
Okay.
Number 10, practicing contemplation. And on the second line, it says, 观位空假中. That's what he's asking, what it means.
Okay. 就忏戒水净力观，信是否就名号，名义胜利。OK， 善有万名，万位公假中。OK， 身人，身乃法报化。Okay, what he's referring to is that in this section where they're teaching them how to contemplate, then he says to contemplate here means to contemplate the 3 truths: the truth of emptiness, the truth of mundane truth, and the truth of the middle way. That's why I mean one way. To contemplate is to actually, contemplation is empty, mundane, and middle. Okay, and those are the 3 truths. So you contemplate the 3 truths, which is excellent. All right? And shen yu, and shen nai. So when you talk about the body here, he's referring the body, the Dharma body, referring to the reward body and the transformation body. So these are the technical concepts. All right? I hope it doesn't help. It's not supposed to help. Okay? Not to Alex. If it helps Alex, I'm in trouble. If Alex says, huh? Then I'm explaining it right. In other words, what I explained to you is not supposed to make sense to you yet. It will make sense to you eventually. Okay? In a few more samkhya kalpas. Hey, I'm going for a long game. I'm not in a hurry. Are you? Okay. And that's along the line of illumination. Okay? To contemplate, illuminate here, the self-nature here, okay, is actually is related to the guan that he asked about, and the contemplation he talked about. But the contemplation here, the old abbot missed completely. Contemplate here is not concept. I caught him immediately. Because he says, I contemplate, the Patriarch Sutra says so and so. Or in that section on the repentance, of 10,000 Buddhas' repentance, says, I contemplate the empty truth, the mundane truth, the middle way truth. It's not the contemplation we're talking about. He's only simply said, just contemplate your self-nature. Okay, it's not what you read and what you think. It's very clear. Contemplate your self-nature. So drop everything you know before. That you have to let go. You cannot refer everything back to the Heart Sutra or the Vajra Sutra or Avatamsaka Sutra, because each case is different. Okay, here it refers to enlightened people, where they are taught. The sixth patriarch said, this is an incredible insight. Those of you even if you don't understand, it's important for you to hear this. Okay? Even though you don't get it, he says, enlightened people, they're doing things that we don't do. They do things like contemplate the self-nature, and they illuminate the self-nature. This is what enlightened people are supposed to do. Not plotting to get their what they want, to get an edge, to get recognition, to get a bigger temple. No, it's not that important. If you have wisdom, if you've been certified to be enlightened, you should be contemplate your self-nature. You should illuminate your self-nature. Don't contemplate the I Ching. Don't contemplate the Xin Jing. Don't contemplate the Heart Sutra. Don't contemplate Shrangama Sutra. He said, contemplate your self-nature. It's beautiful. It's so insightful. Okay? And when you contemplate your self-nature, you also use a light of wisdom to illuminate it. What does it mean? When you contemplate using your wisdom, you naturally illuminate it. That's why they combine together, always come together. Contemplate, illuminate. It's a automatic process. When you contemplate using your wisdom, enlightened people, they also are illuminating. They're not simply contemplating alone. Is that clear? You may not know, you or those who are not enlightened yet may not understand what I'm talking about, but be so happy, be grateful that you hear these concepts here. That is something that someday you will have to do to further enhance your wisdom. All right? This is very, very, very wonderful advanced teachings. Next, 21. When he creates no evil, cultivates all good without becoming attached, is respectful of superiors and considerate of subordinates, and sympathetic and concerned towards orphans and widows.
不照诸恶，虽修众善，心不执着，敬上念下，精续孤贫，名慧香。
Okay, so remember the prior section says, you who have wisdom, or if you don't have wisdom yet, you should still understand this concept. Is when I have wisdom, I will have to contemplate my self-nature. Is that clear? So far, so good, right? So if you're enlightened, then you should be doing it already. You're not enlightened, it's no big deal. You say, I should be doing it. Don't say, no, it's not for me. Do we understand each other? Don't say, Master, I just wasted an hour of my time sitting here I've been sitting here for an hour now. And he talked about enlightened people. I'm not enlightened. The next section, why I had to explain it to you. Next section says, if you do that, okay? If you contemplate your self-nature and illuminate your self-nature, then you will create no evil. That pertains to you, yes? It doesn't apply to me. I don't ever create evil. Huh? What? I can't believe it. It's not supposed to be funny. If you have wisdom, you will not create evil. It's not possible. Number two, you cultivate all good without becoming attached, meaning that you do some good and you forget about it immediately. This is very, very precise. People who have wisdom, they do some good. They say, oh, what good? What good? I've done nothing good in my life. Have you? And he said, yeah, of course I did. Let me tell you, I gave some money to the temple last week. Check the donation box. Okay. You can't find it? Next time I write you a check. Okay? So you do good without becoming attached to your doing good. Okay? Meaning, 心不执着, meaning that your mind doesn't remember anything. And that's why it's referring to the fact when many of you keep on complaining to me, say, I don't remember a darn thing. Your mind is not becoming so detached now. It's a good thing. So when you do a good thing, you're not supposed to remember. All right? Respectful of superiors and considerate of subordinates. Folks, life, what's reaffirming here is life has a hierarchy. Society has a hierarchy. There's someone above you and someone below you. And there's a certain behavior you should observe. If you had wisdom or if you wanted to develop wisdom. Meaning when you encounter a superior, like an abbot, you become respectful. Don't say, you and I are the same. You and I left a home life together, and therefore, you and I are the same. You and I are not the same. Okay? Yeah. Society needs to have structures, needs to have hierarchy. Okay? And therefore, you need to respect your superiors. And this is something that my stupid disciples really struggle with because I'm too casual. You know, in a typical temple, I'd be sitting up here and having all sorts of adornments and, I'm telling you, I'm too casual. It's not a healthy thing. It has some disadvantages where people say, oh, Master, it's so easygoing, so what's a big deal? I'm easygoing for myself, it's not for you. The more easygoing I become, the more scared of me you should be. Okay, it's not about me, it's about you recognizing the boundaries and the hierarchy, especially you flunkies. You come in, you're nobody. We welcome you, but as soon as you shave your head, you're nobody. And that's hierarchy. And that's part of the training for novices in my world, in our world, in the Sangha. Novices go through the first shock. Is they are joining an organization where their superiors make no sense whatsoever. And the superior is so stupid. Look at us. You are so confused. How could you possibly tell me what to do? That's my experience. It's not about that. It's about you learning to respect your superiors. It's not about right and wrong. Wisdom means you respect your superiors. Are we clear on this? And considerate of subordinates. Okay? Consider is that this is the start of being kind and being compassionate. These poor suckers, they're suffering a lot, so you should be considerate of the suffering. These people, these losers, you know what I mean? I mean, huh? Be considerate of them, that's all. Don't trample the feelings, yes, Wei Mountain.
Thank you, Master. How do we recognize our superiors? We can't see individuals' virtue, prajna, or samadhi levels. So how do we recognize our superiors?
Have you been in the armed forces? Never. They wear something on their shoulders. It says, I'm superior to you. In my temple, they call like abbot. They are superior. You don't have to recognize them. You just know they're abbots. Okay? There's a hierarchy. It's recognized by the organization. What are you asking about?
What if it's not somebody who's labeled, like a peer or, a peer?
If your peer, okay? Suppose it's your peer. Should you be respectful or should you be considerate? Neither, right?
They may be my subordinate.
They may be your subordinate. Okay, so what are you supposed to do?
I guess always respectful, but...
No, you respect the superior and consider a subordinate. You don't need to respect subordinates. Subordinates are inferior. You don't need to respect them. Let's not confuse things.
That's what I'm saying then. How do I recognize?
How do you recognize subordinates versus superiors? You have to help me. I have no problem recognizing subordinates. Okay, I look everywhere, subordinates. So I don't have your problems. I've been here too long, I don't go out at all. Okay, but what about the rest of you? How do you recognize superiors and subordinates? No one knows? Huệ Mao.
Emitofuo, Master. I think for a layperson, I look upon all the Sangha as my superiors. No matter if they're a novitiate, a beginner, or a fully ordained, or whatever. To me, they are all my superiors.
All right, what about the people who are not Sanghas? That's what he's asking.
I really don't care. I mean, I treat everyone kindly because we're all in the same boat. We're all
So you
just
treat them
trying
like
to-
superiors or subordinates? That's what he's asking. Do not evade the question. Answer the question.
I don't treat
He's
them
asking,
as a
how do I
subordinate.
recognize someone as superior or subordinate? So that I know how to behave accordingly, treat them accordingly.
I don't see that as something I do. I don't look at someone and say, okay, are you higher than me or you lower than me? Because that is discriminating. And I feel we are all in the
You
same
don't
boat.
discriminate. Vicky says, I don't discriminate.
I don't do it. Sorry, Master. You can't nail this puppy to the wall.
Okay. Yeah. I heard you. Okay. I'm considering whether I have to be considered or not. Okay, anyone else? How would you treat your superiors and subordinate? How would you recognize someone as superior or subordinate? He has a valid question. You're not answering him directly. Huh? Old Abbott, how someone, he goes to Korea and the Koreans are going to ask you, how do I recognize superior, how do I recognize subordinate? It's nowhere in sutras.
Con áp dụng là kỳ rồi con đi Thái Lan 10 ngày đó. Thì cái tâm con rất an ổn là con áp dụng trong kinh Pháp Hoa là kính nể tất cả tăng ni. Và dầu ông đó là sa di cũng vậy, mà ông đó lớn hơn cũng vậy, trụ trì cũng vậy. Và gặp bất cứ ai dân sự con cũng trong lòng cũng rất là kính trọng người ta. Thì mình cảm giác 10 ngày đó rất là an ổn. Không có cảm thấy hơn thua với ai, mà cũng chẳng có thấy mình sợ ai, mà cũng chẳng có khúm núm với ai. Mình nhìn họ tất cả đều là Phật hơn mình hết. Thì 10 ngày đó đi về con rất là an ổn. Tức là luôn luôn có tâm kính trọng mọi người. Và họ ở cái thế nào cũng vậy, họ có cái nhiệm vụ của họ trên cái trái đất này, trong xã hội đó. Rất là tôn kính người ta, kể cả những đứa bé bán những cái đồ lặt vặt xung quanh chùa.
Okay. Don't translate that. Okay. He's giving the farm away. It's no good. Way Mountain.
Master, I really appreciate.
No, don't translate. I told you not to translate.
Oh, no, my experience is that the people they know they're better than me, they're very compassionate and they really tolerate of me. And with the people new to our temple, we are trying our best to help and try our best to share experience in the hope that they can get something out of it. Is the patient that our temple master and every Sangha have been helping me, and so many people have been coming to us.
Okay, anyone else? Quickly. Okay, very good. The old abbot gave him the answer. The answer is that, Alex, respect everyone as your superior. Don't discriminate is the answer. Don't discriminate, superior, inferior. Okay? Then you might ask, he's going to ask me, but the sixth patriarch said I should respect superior and inferiors and be considered the inferiors. No. Let me elaborate why he talked about superior, inferiors, or subordinates. Inferiors, superiors means that someone that has something to teach you. No one asked me, what is a superior? You always say, superior is captain, general, No, superior is not. It's not outside. Superior is that they have something that you can learn from. That's superior to me. Okay? They have superior knowledge. They have something that I want. Therefore, they're superior. What if they have something I don't want? Don't look at it! I only look at things I want, not things I don't want. I only see, oh, I want that, I want that, I want that, red car, red car, red car, red car. Okay? Yeah. Yes, Malcolm. Speak. He's speechless, look at that. One more time.
Contemplate, Master, can someone still contemplate even at a lower level?
Contemplate what, a low level? What do you mean?
I mean, just that word contemplate. Can someone contemplate anything during meditation?
Yeah, contemplation means you look at it single-mindedly. That's contemplation. Okay? That's all. You try to focus on that thing alone to the exclusion of everything else. That's called contemplation. Very simple. Okay? You keep on trying and trying and trying. That's all. And when you do that, every now and then you hit this. Every now and then you can hit that contemplation, you hit your self-nature. That's what's so fascinating about this teaching here. I only presented to you as, for you enlightened, you're supposed to contemplate self-nature because many of my enlightened disciples don't. So that's why I bring it out their attention. But actually for you who are not enlightened, you follow this. You say, I contemplate. You focus single-mindedly, and every now and then you hit the self-nature. It's so cool. That's how you get there. Got that? Am I making sense? Never mind. Okay. So what the old abbot taught, ES5.
Thank you, Master. So when you mean contemplate, for example, it could be anything like contemplate the Buddha's name, for example?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Focus. Even the work. My problem.
Okay, thank you, Master.
That's called contemplation. Okay? So at work, contemplate on my problem. When you cultivate, contemplate Buddha's name. Contemplate Huatou. Contemplate mantra. Contemplate sutra. Contemplate bowing. That's contemplation. Very simple. Okay? I don't know why the Chinese never taught it that way. It's very simple. We need to simplify it for you. Make it in no uncertain terms. That's what you're supposed to do. Try your best to contemplate on one thing only. Concentrate on one thing only. Drop everything else. Never mind about mindfulness crap that they teach you out there. Forget it. Just try your best not to get distracted. That's called contemplation. Anyone can do it. And wonderful things happen to you when you do that, naturally. Don't have to understand. Are we clear on that? Anyone can do it, it's for everyone. Okay, now, he says respectful superiors, meaning respect for everyone. That's my interpretation. I respect everyone. You may not be superior when you look at me, like you're not, probably most of you don't think you're superior to me, but I look at you as my superiors. Believe it or not. I insult you, but I'm insulting my superiors. Okay? Why superior? Let me tell you. I look at the things I want to learn from you. Your suspicious mind. How beautiful. I can never be that suspicious. You know what I mean? It's always something that stands out. And that's what I look at as superior. I can't do that. Wow, this is so fantastic. How can someone be that stupid? So far, so good? It's so cool. My point here is that you spend your life, your time, looking at things that you want to learn from instead of things that you're better than others. It's nonsense. You're better than others. You don't need to look at it. Am I making sense to you? I love this section because it says, it's respectful, superior, and considered subordinate. It's like such a worldly thing. No, actually it's very profound. Superior is because it's something you want to learn from that person. They can teach you. Make sense? How about subordinates? Those are what we call losers. Okay? They're losers. That's what, but it's the more polite term is subordinates. Okay? So they're subordinates, meaning what? What does it mean? Superior is that they have something to offer, right? Subordinate, in contrast, is what? Someone who helpless. They cannot help themselves. They need our help. Life, this is what I like about this. Life is not about yourself, honey. It's not about me. He's teaching us, look at those who are not as fortunate as you are, who are not as blessed as you are. You are not as privileged as you are. You are not as smart as you are. And you need to be considerate of them. Considerate is what? Respect. It's no difference. Respect is that you show this sort of formality, I respect you. Considerate is what? I respect you as well. But looking the other way, looking down, I respect you, man. We call it considerate. It's the same thing, it's respect. Do you like it or not? This is a beautiful mind, folks. This is what makes you different. Not because you're smart and you're successful and you're rich, you're famous, makes you special. No, this is what makes you special. You have this innocence where you say, oh my God, you are so superior, but you are so stupid, but so superior at the same time. This mind where, God, there's so much to learn. It's so interesting about you. And at the same time, you're so inferior. You're so subordinate. Can you see that? You don't need to separate them. Don't look at this as like Alex says, oh, you superior, oh, you inferior, oh, you superior, oh, superior again. No! It's no discrimination. But also here he's referring in terms of social norms as well. This is why the teaching of the Master is so complete. He says, socially, you have to be respectful and considerate. Okay? Are we still together? Okay. Sympathetic and concerned towards orphans and widows. Okay. Sympathetic and concerned towards here. I don't quite understand sympathetic, a Chinese word, and concern, the translation. I take it for face value, okay? I look at it as compassionate. I look at orphans and widows as the people who are in dire straits, who are suffering, who are in pain. Have you been an orphan before? I have. My master died on me. I became an orphan. You never experienced it in your lifetime, not yet. Two of my master died, both of my master died. I'm orphaned twice. Got that? Okay? So, you're compassionate. He says, I look at Jin Xu as compassion. I don't, and the Chinese might disagree with me. Okay? And please say so, and please teach me. But these orphans, widows are the people who are totally helpless. And when you see people who are totally helpless, you're supposed to help them. You cannot ignore them. That's the message. Don't walk away. He says, I let Jung take care of him. What kind of person are you if you expect Nacho to take care of it for you? Okay? Sounds good? Okay, that's wisdom. So wisdom for him, the way he teaches is so nice, because he says, if you have wisdom, you're really enlightened, then you should be contemplating yourself nature, period. Okay? That's what you do. But if you're still not sure, this is how your wisdom manifests itself as it creates no evil, okay, and does good without becoming attached. Don't say, I'm a superior cultivator, that really irks me to death, okay? My master has so many superior and wise disciples, okay? And they look at themselves as superior cultivator. And I made sure my disciples don't do that. I beat them on the head since day one. You are inferior. Maybe that's why they're depressed. I don't know. Okay? But you do good and you drop it. Okay? You cultivate goodness, you drop it. Immediately. You're respectful of superiors and consider subordinates. It seems so simple, it seems so worldly in a way, okay? But actually, I explained to you, it's very profound, okay? And sympathetic and concerned with orphans and widows, he's talking about compassion. If you are meaning that if you have wisdom, you're supposed to be compassionate. How can you see helpless people and ignore them? What's the matter with you? Okay, that's what he's saying. You're faking it very well. Because usually at this part, that's what I have no compassion whatsoever. Yes, 5.
Master, so, and what do we do with people that they need help, but they are not willing to be helped? Like they admit they have a problem, but they don't want...
Have you Wei Yang answer? To help is sometimes to ignore it. They want to be ignored. That's how you help. You can only help when they ask for it. Okay, you cannot force your help on others. All right, very good. All right, any other questions? If not, we stop here today. Thank you. Thank you very much. Master, okay, you want to do rebirth transfer?